Introducing Mythic Silver, an enhancement hack and fan game of Soul Silver that combines difficult fights with a brilliant storyline that expands on some of the Pokemon classics, including the Mystery Dungeon storyline and the story of the Sinnoh region. Usually on this channel, I highlight my attempts of the hardest Romhacks that the world has to offer. This time, we'll deep dive into an incredible hack with super fun story depth. On top of that, I'll be playing with Nuzlocke rules to up the difficulty just a hair. So what are the notable qualities of this fan game anyways? The game opens with a cutscene from Arceus, Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina. They discuss increased distortions in space-time reality and employ Grovyle and the hero, Akari, to stop Darkrai from doing what he's been up to. Playing as Akari, we begin our journey in New Bark Town, except when you step out of Mom's house, the world is on fire. Meeting up with our rivals Red and Blue, Arceus gifts the three of us starter Pokemon. For Blue, a Growlithe, for Red, a Pikachu, and for me, a choice between three legendary birds. Yeah, that's right. In fact, not only was our starter a legendary, but so was every available encounter in this run. And you're probably wondering, hey Whacko, that sounds insanely unfair and broken, so you just get all the best Pokemon and the opponents have normal stuff? Well, like, kind of, not really. Let me explain. First, these legendaries do not have perfect individual values or IVs when you catch them in the wild, and the opponents always do. Also, you can't EV train your guys, and opponents are deliberately EV trained throughout this hack to be as strong as possible. Real quick, for those of you unfamiliar with what EVs or effort values do, let's take an example Pokemon like Charizard. Everyone loves Charizard, right? Charizard at level 50 with perfect IVs and no EVs has these stats. If we EV train this guy perfectly in special attack and speed though, suddenly Zard does a lot of damage and can outspeed even base Crobat at the same level. One of the fastest Pokemon in history. So no, this game was not going to be a cakewalk, even though we get to use some of the coolest Pokemon ever. I chose Articuno, who was definitely not the best choice for battling, but almost definitely the best vibe selection. Progressing west, it was pretty clear that Johto was in the midst of an apocalypse. There was a nice guy in a pink shirt who gifted us a whole bunch of Cherish Balls, an infinite rare candy, and a couple Oran Berries. It was time to get our first two encounters. It should probably be noted that there were more than just the definition legendaries in these encounter pools. Volcarona and Arcanine are Pokedex legendaries, so they were included in the pool as well. Volcarona was actually our first pickup. Mega Pokemon were also available without even holding their items, as were Ultra Beasts and Mythicals. And it was time for our first couple of fights. We defeated the first couple of trainers with no problems, using the Chansey in the route to heal our team intermittently. We then arrived in Cherry Grove, which looked slightly different than the base game, huh? We picked up Pheromosa and Reshiram and climbed the mountains of the old Cherry Grove Lake to ring the bell. We actually scared Red and Blue off a cliff with this one and had to chase them down and apologize. They weren't happy about the whole cliff thing and didn't accept the apology and immediately challenged us to a back-to-back battle, where we finally saw my EVs make this game challenging argument take place. Because this is a level 6 Pidgey, and I have a level 5 Articuno. Tell me why these two birds went band for band until the very end, where Articuno barely squeaked it out. The second fight can be worse, with Mudslap, Rock Blast, Rhyhorn being a devil, but we had Mudslap on our Lucario, who pulled through for us, and we were headed into the Cherry Grove Cave. Team Galactic was having a little meeting inside of that mountain we just jumped off of. I told them to get out. They left per their own free will because I'm 10 years old and have no authority, but we can pretend I kicked them out for the sentiment. Hoopa was in this cave, who kind of stinks in the grand scheme of things because you can catch both Hoopa and Hoopa unbound, and you can't transform them into one another at any point, so it was kind of just stuck like this. North of Cherry Grove, there was an optional battle that if we defeated would gift us the Muscle Band and the Wise Glasses. And that battle was between us and two buds, Volkner and Flint. And speaking of two buds, while we take down those two gym leaders, let me introduce you to the sponsor of today's video, the creators of my favorite pair of earbuds, Raycon. We targeted down Volkner's side, using Reshiram and Volcarona to double target Elekid, as well as the following Shinx and Pachirisu, who actually survived a turn, but then succumbed to the next one to a Fire Spin. Now, the only thing electric left is this feeling I get when I pop in these super comfy Raycon earbuds. Raycon Everyday Earbuds provide the crystal clear audio quality you'd expect from the best in the business, but only charge you half the price. There's a reason they sold 3 million of their previous everyday earbuds. Still in the midst of our battle, we couldn't do a ton of damage to these fire types with our fire types as they resisted our attacks. But you know what Raycon earbuds resist? Weather and sweat. And you guys know how I'm always making basketball references in my videos because I love the sport. Now I can shoot threes or slam dunks while listening to music without ever worrying about damaging my earbuds in the process. We did slowly chip away at Flint with our fire types and eventually overwhelmed him in the 2v1. And with other great features like a 32-hour battery life, active noise cancellation technology, and a bunch of cool color cases to choose from, you have to get your hands on these. I mean, look at this protective case. It's super slick looking and it's super easy to pop on too. It's literally a matter of putting that in there, putting this on top. It looks great. Click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/Whacko to get 15% off of your Raycon purchase and free shipping. Thank you, Raycon, for sponsoring this video. Let's get back into exploring Mythic Silver. Brock was blocking our path to Blackthorn here, and Lucario put in a ton of work to break us through. We snagged a Kartana from a new location called Ravaged Meadow and encountered Team Galaxies once more. They were planning to parade through the nearby cave, which I intended to stop. So I had to jump off another cliff. There appears to be a lot of cliff jumping in this hack just all throughout. They call me the guy who jumps off the cliffs guy. I was now in a cave chasing after Team Galaga. It's time that I show you guys the next facet of what makes this ROM hack even more difficult and interesting. There are battles in this cave with grunts, and I do have docs for each of their teams, but the mons are randomized in the order of which they appear. I can't plan for the opening Pokemon, I have to plan for the team as a whole. Now, admittedly, Mega Lucario and Kartana play really well in this stretch, so it was really breezy based on our personal encounters, but this was a gauntlet in which we weren't permitted to heal as well. So with the next major roadblock only a room away, I was definitely nervous heading in. Kyurem White, the static encounter here with a 2-level advantage on us. You have to kill it or catch it. And you'll notice this is attempt 2, and that's because this guy fired off an ice ball on me last run and assassinated half my team. This time though, I mud slapped to drop his accuracy to hopefully stop it from setting up, and switched into my Reshiram to try and start catching it. That worked out. We packed up our new guy and we plugged along. Our new level cap was now 9, and we just had to clear the final 3 random battles before exiting the gauntlet to arrive in the remnants of Blackthorn. It's got a cool design, and Team Garganackle was everywhere. What did they want? It was clear Mars had failed the mission inside that previous cave, but I still didn't know. I entered the cave that they had entered, and it was a spiky, dark, and cold atmosphere. We caught a Mega Abomasnow and set forth to navigate the bridges and pillars of this area. The only catch? This cave was also a gauntlet, and one that, if scaled successfully, would provide us with our first badge. I should probably mention that Terrakion encounter we got in Blackthorn, huh? Kartana put in work, but not having access to a ton of healing items makes this gauntlet a little treacherous. Lucario was also very good here and helped push our cap to level 13 by the time we took on Price. Now, this fight wasn't super hard. I mean, Maura set up a screen before succumbing to Lucario, and Whirlpool Celio chipped the heck out of us, though Lucario pulled through that too. With Delibird out next and our Mega asleep, I sent in Volcarona. Volcarona was shifty as all hell here, dodging 2 hustle attacks from Delibird, looking like prime Reggie Bush out here. Down with Quaxley and Sandslash, the Ice-type leader was behind us. Though not in a classic gym building, thank you for badge number 1. The exit of our first gym challenge was a route by the name of Winter's Edge. After a couple of battles against Pokemon that were overleveled and perfectly designed, we fished up a casual Kyogre, like you normally do. And then I got a Latios. Mahogany Town looks way different than I remember it. It kind of looks like it'd be a sick Minecraft build with the overgrown and broken down nature of it. I got a Miraidon, which was pretty dope, and found a new additional secret part of the map next. Underneath the Pokemon Center, there was a whole new location to explore. It was like the sewers or something. And boom, Marshadow, our first ghost type. Also boom, Virizion is on the team. I'm not sure what Virizions are supposed to be good at, but this one wasn't good at much. What's fun is that almost every Pokemon has a custom Gen 4 box sprite in this game and an overworld sprite as well. Not Miraidon though, who's replaced with a gold Bulbasaur in the box, and this. Oh, Miraidon looks great. Miraidon, smile for the camera. Yeah. The Lake of Rage is completely overhauled as well, and in this case overrun by Team Gaggle. We got an Ice Horse here and began to take on the bad guys. There was another gauntlet, but I will admit having a ghost type and multiple steel types is so nice, and these fights weren't super hard. Sure, I planned a little for each of them, but as was pointed out by chat, these fights were more about testing the player's ability to manage limited PP, as opposed to trying to brute force knock out my Pokemon. Midway through, I encountered Saturn and Cyrus, being best buddies in the snow, and they ran away from me, probably trembling from how big and scary I am. I healed my team with the magical Chansey stuck at this poor lake, freezing. I hope there's a couple different chances that like take shifts with this guy for stuff like this. Boom, Mega Latios. Just an insane pickup right now. I crashed Team Graham Cracker's party and Saturn tried to beat me up. He failed. But now Cyrus wanted to fight as well. Look at this screen tilt. The cinematography is beautiful. Cyrus opened with a rusty Sableye, who hard-walled my Kartana with Will-O-Wisp. Volcarona would have taken care of this guy, but Cyrus switched Cubfu in to eat the Fire Spin instead. Mega Latios made her debut, smoking Cubfu and inviting Sableye back out. Volcarona ripped its heart out, saving the Emerald for a good villager trade later. Larvitar was now out, but Mega Drain from Virizion slept the little guy. Glastrier shredded Fracture with Icicle Spear and invited out the final Pokemon, Bonedge. Little guy used Metal Claw, then Swords Dance, and the battle was over. Volcarona carried. The next stretch of gameplay was in pursuit of badge number 2, so we had to plow through a segment of the game called Bolo's Rift. Once in the Dark Cave, we met up with Morty, who was very nice, and then told his Garatina to shove us into a pit. Now, a gauntlet of ghost trainers were up, some fast, some bulky. The first double battle was trivialized by our Drizzle Kyogre, but the next fight was whack, as a Zorua disguised as Remy headbutt flinched my Virizion 3 times in a row. With Shadow Sneak nearly promised here, I switched out and eventually got into Volcarona for the kill. Rat fell and we moved on. The only issue was that I couldn't heal yet, so I was basically down to 4.5 Mons with the damage that my team took there. Last year cleared the next 2 Mons and the Spectrier that I'd acquired in this cave and completely forgot to mention. Okay, I guess technically it's a Calyrex, but I have no idea what the difference is and I don't know what's going on there. But did you guys know that this Pokemon's quad weak to ghost moves? Because I thought it was a pure ghost type. Good thing I survived Ominous Wind from Dusclops. Anyways, static wild Giratina here. I freaked out before I realized this wasn't Morty. Thank God it opened with Will-O-Wisp on my burned Mon 3 times because I would have been in trouble. We healed after this fight and then burned Morty with our far superior team. 2 badges were behind us. Egritique looked great, and after another rival fight, we met Jupiter, who was fraternizing with Groudon. I also ran away from a Solgaleo that was absolutely supposed to be my encounter there. Solgaleo isn't a good Pokemon, right? We arrived in Olivine, the home to gym number 3 and a couple more encounters, and it looked pretty standard. The rain route next door was completely overhauled, however. I got an Urshifu Rapid Strike to help me on my adventures and doubled back to Jasmine. I had the Volca Onion that I just picked up open for me, and Landorus used Quicksand on the Dugtrio. That new Urshifu was unreal against the Suit-and-Tie Penguin, and Skarmory didn't last long against the Will-O-Wisp Reshiram. In all honesty, the biggest threat here was Duraludon, who was super fast and had Dragon Rage. Reshi packed it up anyways, and Shiny Kingambit was on the floor about to be murdered. God, that thing's so cool looking. There were cliffs and bridges where the Whirl Islands used to be, monitored by Team GameCube pretty heavily. Fun gimmick, we had to beat Chuck once in a mini battle before actually challenging his gym. The gimmick wasn't that, it was that the fight was a mandated 3 Pokemon fight, no more allowed. And although we were allowed to heal in between fights in this gym, we did have to clear all 3 trainers with only 3 Mons. Once again, this gym leader's puzzle was not located in his typical venue, but rather on the nearby waterfalls. I brought Landorus, Latios, and Suicune. It wasn't perfect, but we managed to squeak through and make it to the official gym challenge. Of course, behind Chuck was the mother lord of all encounters, the promised proof of power creep that professional competitions never unleashed, Eternamax Eternatus. 1,125 base stats of insanity. What did this mean? Well, the Mon wasn't invincible, but it was pretty close. There wasn't a Pokemon we'd see moving forward that could 1v1 this thing. It was a get out of jail, free card built into 1 Pokemon slot. Chuck was a double battle. My big idea was to burn Conk and figure out the right side from there. Look at this Machamp's special attack build. It's ridiculous. I accidentally air cutter crit the Conk twice, and that kind of ruined the whole burn it and leave it alive plan. Then Decadui Seed Bomb crit my Landorus, dropping it so low in health. I swapped it out for Eternatus and had Tornadus deal most of the damage while the beast sopped up hits. I didn't realize until the end of the battle that I actually did not have any Pokemon on my team at the level cap there. Oh well, Deathless Dub, will you take it? We then ventured into this spooky teleporty woods section of the game, and then we found the Minecraft Cherry Grove forest biome. We did get some new encounters, but the most important 2 to note were definitely Necrozma Duskbane, whose steel psychic typing was just so strong, and Zacian, who's just disgusting with its Gen 8 Intrepid Sword ability, as well as its Fairy Steel typing. Deep in the forest, I met up with Team Garage, who appeared to be collecting legendaries themselves at this point. They weren't using them to fight me, they just were picking them up. Two grunts engaged in a tag double battle with me, costing me my newly acquired Mega Gyarados. That encounter was rather short-lived. I really only had it for a couple fights. Commander Mars challenged us right after, but it was no match for the 5 remaining Mons, and we were off. Goldenrod City, the city where dreams come true, and Mythic Silver players acquire their 5th badge from Whitney sometimes. I was hoping it would be one of those times. The grocery store is the gym gauntlet, and you can even buy nature mints here to improve your Pokemon. They're costly, so choose wisely which Pokemon you'd like to improve, but isn't the customization kind of fun? I won't explain every detail of what happened in the Whitney fight just because Zacian went absolutely bananas and destroyed everything. But we got our 5th badge, let's go. There was another fight with Red, and then a really fun stretch of gameplay through another overhauled route. I found Eterna Forest out of nowhere, and then I caught a Tapu Bulu. I don't know what this thing is. Azalea Industries definitely does not look like the old Azalea town that I knew, but we did get free Melmetal. My man Bach Nation loves this guy. Galactic hideout was inside the Haunted Mansion back in the forest. I powered through to the top and used our newly acquired Mega Scizor to defeat Cyrus's huge Haxorus. Drain Punch fried his Tyranitar, Zacian beat Archaludon and Sableye, and Eternatus nearly died taking on Urshifu. Aqua Jet from our own Urshifu did just enough damage to finish that job, and we were barreling towards a breaking point in this story. Would Team Gorgonzola tell us why they insisted on capturing the legendary Pokemon that they were? At the top of the tower, Cynthia accosts them for their behavior, and Cyrus starts on the defense. If Darkrai is so powerful, why doesn't Cyrus even know who he is? It's probably weak and controllable, right? Darkrai then shows up, proving it was listening in the whole time. Darkrai then kidnaps Team Gallon and vanishes. Only Cynthia Flint and the hero remain. Escorted out of the building, Cynthia needs to buy time to figure out what's going on before instructing me on how to move forward. She tells me to finish my gym challenge to keep me occupied and leaves to investigate. Flint's gym is actually his Elite Four arena. In order to combat the permanent sun setting that the fight starts with, I opened with our Drizzle Kyogre, and with the new stage set, there was no way Flint's team was keeping pace. Houndoom melted to Rain Boosted Scald, Infernape bulked up, which did not feel good. Then I discovered that my 100 base power move called Earth Shatter that was created for this game was a recoil move. This was also not good for me because Landorus took damage and then almost died. But we locked it into Raging Fury once the rain went down, and I sent in Volca Onion to tank the fire attack and move us forward. Lugia begrudgingly checked Reshiram, Eternatus soaked up Cerulege's attacks and got the kill, following up with Smashing Match Mordor, and I cannot call it Match Mordor, and I'm so sorry that I said that. And Kyogre boxed up the final Incineroar. Badge 7 was right here too, as Volkner waited just a short walk away. To be honest, this wasn't the hardest fight in the world either, but I did love the Kanto region callback to the power plant as a gym. The final gym was just south of this one, and it was an insane string of fights. Of course, before tackling that, I accidentally walked into the wrong path, and I met an Explosion Licky that obliterated my poor Mega Latias. That was not good. The first fight of the next gym was against Whitney again, who wanted a rematch, except this time she was bringing a whole team of dragons. She got a rematch, and we got the best of her once again. Cynthia was in line next, but Zacian just matches up so well against every mod on her team. I did think it was kind of strange that she took some time to do this while the world was falling apart, but maybe this is like part of her plan to make sure that I'm ready to take on the challenge. I don't know. Lance up third was brutal, but we managed to scrape by and make our way to the final trainer in the gym, Claire. Claire was a classic final gym leader, but this time she was opening with double megas in the Lottie twins, with Reggie Drago, Hisui Gudra, Heatran, and Kingdra in the pocket. I thought I had a plan that worked. Things went awry pretty quickly. With Latios dying first turn, Latios set up both screens and used the turn to misball my Mega Kanga. Reggie Drago then devastated my Zacian with an Earth Power crit. I couldn't afford to let Zacian die here. The Pokemon was too valuable in speed and attack and typing to let it go, even if it meant letting the rest of my team die. I swapped in Melmetal to hopefully chug a Mistball, but Latias saw kill on Kangaskhan and I didn't think it did, and then it took the kill. This left Reggie Drago with a free turn to Earth Power Melmetal. Eternatus certainly helped by Sludge Waving for a kill on Reggie and a good chip on Latias, but now Gudra was on the floor and building up curses in a hurry. In hindsight, I think killing Latias might have been a mistake, because the synergy of Heatran and Gudra just checked my entire squad. Tapu Fini was sent out, but didn't hit Gudra nearly like I wanted it to at all. Knockoff cleared leftovers though, and we chipped and chipped away at it. Eventually, Tapu Fini was hit with a gyro ball to the dome, and it did not make it. So I sent in Melmetal, asserting it was the least valuable of my remaining team members, and I had it bullet punch the Heatran on its way out. Sacred Sword finished that guy, and Dragon Pulse killed the Goodra. The final Kingdra had nothing on Arzation, and the fight was over. Down 5 total Pokemon throughout the entirety of the run, we had collected our 8th badge. Little did I know, the hardest challenges were right around the corner. A devastating Air Slash miss from Lugia would cost us Landorus, maybe one of our most important team members so far, in a random double battle against some grunts. We then met at what appeared to be Spear Pillar remnants just beneath Blackthorn. There, Team Galvantula had, alongside Darkrai, opened up a portal to another dimension. Darkrai's master plan clearly laid beyond, so we voyaged in. On the other side of the portal was the top of Mount Coronet. Our final encounter was a Mega Mewtwo X here, and Mars played the first roadblock. Squashed easy, Jupiter's Groudon backed double battle was much scarier next. Honestly, it was here that the bleeding of our team started really adding up, as Jabab the Abomasnow took its last breath, inhaling an overheat from Rotom Heat and falling instantly. Tapu Bulu was next, unable to deal with a special attack dropped Rotom Heat. Reshiram dropped Groudon, and we were back on track. It wasn't perfect, but Eternatus and Miraidon figured out the final Regieleki and Heliolisk. It was time for Saturn. I used the Koraidon we'd acquired earlier and never sent out once to fire off its Drought ability on the water-based team. Dropping the first Pokemon were easy, and Kartana got an attack boost for taking out this Ludi. Greedily, I knew I could do insane damage if Kartana survived an Ice Beam from Kyogre after its attack boost, or even if it just attacked the other side. I was hoping that would happen, but we ended up just losing one of our first encounters and had to send in Miraidon in Kartana's spot. Thunderbolt zapped Kyogre though, and Dragon Pulse killed Gyarados. And then I miscalced. Swift Swampert has a 236 speed stat. My speed stat is higher than that, so I can Volt Switch out. Nope. Why? Wait, why did that just happen? The calculator I was using accounted for the Swift Swim ability on Mega Swampert, but never accounted for the 10 speed boost stat-wise. I was slower, but I thought I was faster. And now, Miraidon is dead. You will be missed. You were very good. Virizion fell to the next Ice Beam from Politoed, and we were through. 11 deaths. Mount Coronet led us to Celestic Town in the Sinnoh region, where Cyrus was that one time that an explosion went off during the Sinnoh story. Darkrai arrives when I go to speak to him and orders my death, actually, just as kill her. Cyrus, unable to control his actions, apologizes beforehand, which was very nice, and then tries to kill me. The Necrozma Duskmane stalled Archaludon quite a bit before I asked Zacian to finish it for momentum. Mega Sableye swapped in, and with max EV training, this was going to survive our Stab Fairy move. I sent in Emmy the Articuno, our first Pokemon who'd been with us since the very beginning of the journey. I smashed Air Slash, and after getting some flinches, I finished it with an Ice Beam when it was in range. Articuno did something! Tyranitar fell to Urshifu, and this funny-looking Kyurem was sent out next. I sent in my own Kyurem to counter it, but just took way too much damage on the switch-in. And just like that, moments after contributing in a huge way like it hadn't the entire run, I had to sacrifice my starter to keep the run alive. Zacian cleared Kyurem, Eternatus beat Urshifu, and the final Mon was on the floor. Now, Choice Banded into the Dragon-type move, Supernova. We finished the job with our Fairy-type. Outside of the battle, Cyrus claims he just wanted to get his team back home, that he doesn't remember anything, and he's super confused. Cynthia guesses that this whole event of chasing down the admins of Team Glass was simply a distraction, so Darkrai could carry through with their real plan. The chase was in haste, as we needed to get to the top of Mount Coronet before it was too late. At the top of the Hall of Origin stood Darkrai, who decrees himself as the god of this world, and his first order of business? Eliminate the hero of the story. Using my own friends against me and locking me and them into a cage match in the place that they call home was insanity. Blastoise switched out second turn when I challenged Red, and I asked Mewtwo to counter the oncoming Lapras. Eternatus then smoked Zard, and Mewtwo took a second casualty in Snorlax. Eternatus again for Pikachu, and Volca Onion did so much damage to an infinitely shell-smashing turtle. The final Pokemon was Venusaur, who our newly acquired and never used before Shaman Sky took no issue punishing. Red was conquered. We were teleported to Viridian to stare down Blue. Blue opened with a shiny Arcanine, and I relied on Wild Charge Recoil to complete the range on Steam Eruption from Volcarona. Okay, I get to keep my Focus Sash, and I get the kill. Good night, Rhyperior. Let's go. Okay. Being able to keep my Sash is so important, too. I stay in on this, and I Air Slash. Can I get the flinch? Flinch this. Just flinch it. Okay. We now get in on HP Fire. I don't know why it did that. No way, dude. No way it got the literal worst roll possible. A Pivotization allowed me to bait out Leaf Storm and stall another couple turns of Sun. Eventually, Reshiram was able to get some health back with Roost and finished it with Blue Flare. Into Shaman on Gyarados' Earthquake, we activated the eject button with Shaman's Air Slash, inviting out Chorus. I was dead to some moves, but I couldn't risk switching in on something punishing. Since I had my Sash intact on Shaman, I powered through and blasted it with a Seed Flare. Now banded into Supernova, things were looking good for us moving forward. Gyarados comes out. I would bet this is T-Wave here. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, show me Zam. Show me Zam right now. Head smash hit, please, 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 please. Yes, kill it. Thank God. That was the scariest mon. And it's dead now. Gave me so hard, true. Let's go to DJ here. And we win. Crunch. Ow. Take all of that health back. Thank you. Blue conquered. It was just Cynthia left to battle. This time we were in the Sinnoh's champion room. Cynthia told me that I disgusted her, which was just mean, to be honest. It didn't help kill me to say that. And I was hoping Zacian could do to her what I just did a few fights ago in Claire's gym to her with the whole sweeping thing. Spiritomb did not deal well with this Zacian and collapsed in 2 hits. Mega Garchomp came out next, and I couldn't believe it. I was able to chain the hardest Pokemon to check just like that. Good night, Togekiss as well. Shaman defeated Milotic, and Zacian stepped back into Tango with the final 2 Mons. Advantage, Sword Dog. Fed up with the hero's successes, Darkrai had one last trick, meeting me back at the Hall of Origin. Threatening to use the most powerful force of all time on me, Darkrai used some of the best Pokemon in the game to try and bury me. Is that the last fight? Yeah, this is the last fight. So if I just go there, I go here. Okay, well, you suck. Oh, come on. Oh, that's great damage. Nice, nice. Went for my boy. That sucks. That's what I expected. Survive. Thank you. Good night, Rayquaza. Nice. Photosphere, Prismatic Laser. Nice. Alright. So if I do this, get you in. Mid-size strike. Who's he go for? Yeah, that's what I expected. Shouldn't do that much. Did more than I wanted it to, but it's okay. Light Screen wore off. So I'm just gonna Psychic Fangs you and Sludge Wave. Yeah. And I think that this is the best way to go about it, because I can break the barrier here. That's fine. Can I just kill it? Yep. Yeah, that's about what I expected. Mystical Fire will drop the special attack again, which is good. Screens aren't up anymore. I expect Zacian to come back out right now. Oh, it goes Arceus. Interesting. But we just kill Arceus, don't we? Behemoth Blade? Okay. I didn't do the calcs, but I'm just assuming this kills. Yep. Sweet. So I'm going to sacrifice you while I go for damage on Zacian here. Yep. Good night, buddy. Player off. You don't kill that, right? That's not just dead, right? No, it is. Okay. Dude, this Zacian's impossible, man. What an insane Pokemon I have to deal with. Zacian's a monster? Yeah, clearly. What is going on? Okay. Does that just kill me? I think it might. Oh my god. Oh, and I didn't get the drop? That sucks. Should we play rough, though? Oh, it went B. Okay, that's fine. That's worse, but it's fine. Nice. Okay. No priority moves, just who does Zacian want to kill and who does Zacian not want to kill? Drain Punch, and I go Behemoth Blade. Okay, who are you killing? I'm gonna play rough. It's killing our boy. That's okay, I think. I think I'd rather have Zacian. I think Zacian might be able to sweep from here. Darkrai comes out. Can Darkrai touch me? It's max speed, but I'm just gonna Spirit Break. Oh no. This shouldn't do that much damage. Yeah. Spirit Break, Darkrai. Oh, an Aura Sphere. Okay. Does this kill me? No, we're good. We win. We win. Zacian, the final one standing. Behemoth Blade. Good night. All right. That's cool. Wow. Zooey mama, dude. We made it. Thank you to our Patreon subscribers. You guys are the best for helping me make these videos happen. Kiri, Dream, Jeremy, Prita, Tyler, Chad, Grant, our VIP Plus subscribers. You guys are the GOATs.